Hello everybody, my name is Guy Rubin, I'm the CEO of Ebsta. Ebsta has developed a unique approach to transform underperforming go-to-market teams at B2B SaaS businesses. The impact on net asset value has been profound. Ebsta are the only provider that blend data, insights, technology and service and guarantee to deliver more quota per seller and a more accurate forecast. Today I'll show you exactly how your opcos can take advantage without ripping out your CRM, hiring armies of consultants or waiting 2 years for change management to bed in. A lot of those in the room will be familiar with the Ebsta B2B benchmark report. Over the last year, we've analysed over 650,000 opportunities representing over $48 billion worth of pipeline. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to give you a link to download a copy. Lots of go-to-market insights in the report, but the key takeaways include over 3/4 of sellers are now missing quota over the last year. However, the most concerning stat for me is the delta between top performers and average performers in the sales team is at an all-time high of 11x. This simple sales velocity calculator makes it easy for any company to compare the dollars per day each seller contributes. It's a great way of comparing the profitability of different go-to-market motions. You can see on this graphic that the top performers are working nearly 3 times more deals with a much higher ACV and win rate than the B players. They're also able to maintain momentum, leading to shorter sales cycles. When we bring this together, it highlights the delta between top and average performers is currently at 11x. Now, while almost every business in the world can calculate their own velocity delta, most don't understand the underlying factors driving the A seller's success. From the report, we can see that just 14% of sellers are now generating 80% of new logo revenue. The short answer to getting more sellers hitting quota is introducing best practice and consistency. When we're able to replicate best practice, we get more B players delivering closer to A player standard. Before you can do that, you need the insights to understand where the issues lie. Most existing RevOps teams struggle to bring together the insights leadership and sellers need to convince everyone that the changes needed are worthwhile. Despite implementing a range of programs to improve efficiency, PE houses are telling me that across their portfolio, the majority of sellers are still missing quota. Fixing this persistent problem isn't hard, but there are no shortcuts. We have to start by solving the data hygiene issue, which leads to insights everyone trusts, which in turn allows the leaders to introduce consistent processes that drive best practice. I thought it'd be helpful at this point to talk you through the impact Ebsta's had on a 100 million ARR B2B SaaS business owned by a PE house. HG Capital introduced us to an opco called Serala about 18 months ago. The impact Ebsta's had at Serala over the last year is material. Their leadership team have used the Ebsta Insights and platform to transform their go-to-market motions. They've seen a 16 times increase in sales velocity, almost doubled their average win rates, increased total ARR by over 1/3, and materially reduced the average sales cycle. Their CEO recently joined me at an HG kickoff event, and you can see from his quote the positive impact Ebsta's had on their go-to-market motion, and most importantly, the knock-on and positive impact on enterprise value. Ebsta went live at Serala in Q1 2024, and a year later, their sales velocity increased 16x, and Q2 2025 has been another record quarter for them, with new revenue increasing by nearly a 3x compared to the previous quarter, while at the same time increasing efficiency by 6 times. Ebsta started having a positive impact within the first quarter, and within 2 quarters, we saw these transformational results. Data, insights, and systems can only take you so far. You need leaders willing to embrace the change. Serala operate in 3 very different geographies, and the leaders within those 3 have gone from being skeptical about technology, data, and process to being huge advocates of Ebsta and the impact it's had on their region. Serala used the whole of the Ebsta platform, which includes solving the data hygiene issues inside Salesforce, which in turn allows us to deliver revenue insights as a service, and then they use Ebsta's technology platform inside Salesforce for guided selling, pipeline inspection, and forecasting. So how can you drive similar results within your opcos? Well, it all starts with data hygiene. In an AI world, data hygiene is more important than ever. However, on average, we see up to 70% of contacts and activities are missing from Salesforce, and content found in emails and call recordings are siloed, making it almost impossible to consolidate and extract meaningful insights. EBSA is uniquely placed to solve this problem and deliver valuable insights by digesting data from a range of sources. Our Revenue Insights as a Service reports highlight strengths and weaknesses in the go-to-market team and understand what can be done to positively impact outcomes. EBSA is uniquely placed to solve this problem and deliver valuable insights by digesting data from a range of sources. Our RIAS reports highlight strengths and weaknesses in the go-to-market team and understand what can be done to positively impact outcomes. EBSA have a premium service that we call Revenue Insights as a Service, or RIAS. Now, up until now, this was only available to companies purchasing the full EBSA platform. I'm excited to announce we're now able to offer PE-backed B2B SaaS businesses RIAS without them having to sign up to EBSA licenses. Revenue Insights as a Service takes the form of a comprehensive 50-plus page audit of each OpCo's go-to-market motion. You get 4 reports a year that covers the following chapters. We've got benchmarking, which makes it easy to replicate best practice, assess, which is all about identifying opportunities to improve, coach, which empowers sales leaders to deliver targeted coaching, and optimize, which optimizes deal velocity by reducing inefficiencies. The first report goes back 12 months. Then we deliver a follow-up report each quarter highlighting what has changed and what each OpCo needs to prioritize next. RIAS doesn't require any change management, and you get your first report within 2 weeks of connecting to our platform. I plan to use the rest of this session to give you a walkthrough of some of the example insights. However, please note, each customer insights are different, and we cherry-pick the insights that most companies benefit from. So let's start with sales velocity. Understanding sales velocity for different regions, industry, and segments help leadership make decisions on where to invest their go-to-market team resources. Without this level of insight, teams have to rely on gut feel. In this example, it's easy to see that we are generating highest velocity from mid-market Latin America-based SaaS businesses. However, this only represents 13% of the pipeline. We all know that relationships drive revenue. However, what most go-to-market teams are missing is clarity on what level of engagement is required with each stakeholder to achieve a positive outcome. This is just as important to customer success teams as it is to the sales process. EBSA scores engagement with every stakeholder, and that rolls up to an engagement score on every opportunity. In this example, average engagement on deals closed won was 85, while deals that closed lost was just 65, and win rates were almost twice as high when engagement was above 90. We also know that time kills all deals, but most go-to-market leaders don't understand the optimal age for deals in the pipeline. In this example, EBSA Insights includes a breakdown by size. As insights without context are meaningless, we can also provide a breakdown by revenue type, segment, geography, and even down to individual sellers. Now, not all the deals in the pipeline are ever going to be equal. The problem is a lot of companies that are still running a weighted forecast with pipeline that includes deals that have slipped. Now, this is a real graphic from a live customer that's been anonymized. You can see win rates drop dramatically for them when deals slip past 90 days. If you're not taking slippage into consideration or still relying on a weighted forecast based on stages, your forecast will simply never be accurate. Just over half of B2B SaaS businesses are using a qualification methodology, but the way it's being used can be wildly different across different teams or even individual contributors. We all appreciate that better qualified deals close more frequently, but teams that are not consistently measuring or scoring qualification are missing out on the opportunity to understand how the A players are qualifying and use that to coach the B players. It's also very helpful to use these types of graphics to help get buy-in from individual contributors as to why they should care about qualifying better. Improving qualification is one of the quickest ways to get more sellers hitting quota. As part of our latest offering, EBSA can digest the last year's worth of discovery call recordings and analyze the impact of qualification on historical win rates. Very often we see deals close lost at a late stage, but only when we analyze the historical calls can we find out that they were never really qualified correctly in the first stage. Giving managers and sellers visibility into areas for improvement and highlighting the impact of improving the way they qualify and perhaps limiting stage progression until qualification scores are above target moves the needle on qualification attainment immediately. With EBSTA, capturing MEDPIC or any other qualification doesn't have to be a pain for the seller. EBSTA can automate the capture of your qualification methodology into Salesforce by connecting to your Zoom or Team or Gong calls. In my opinion, go-to-market teams with 20 or more sellers that are still relying on manually updating Salesforce instead of using AI to capture and score qualification are never going to be able to drive the consistency required to report on and improve qualification. Once we have the benchmarks in place, we move on to the assess part of the RIAS report. In the next few slides are examples of types of insights we provide to help leadership assess live pipeline and spot risk ahead of time. In this example, we have 14 late-stage deals with an unacceptably low level of engagement. Giving leaders this visibility allows them to help progress or close those deals off as lost a whole lot sooner. As the benchmarks give everyone visibility of the impact of slippage, the associated assess graphics will highlight the current deals in flight that have stalled and need attention. Aligning sales and marketing efforts has never been more important, so understanding where your opportunities are coming from and where to invest time and energy is gold. In this example, paid search is delivering really good ICP opportunities, but not enough of them, while outbound activities are generating lots of pipeline, but the velocity of that pipeline is materially lower. We may conclude that the outbound team are not as disciplined as they need to be on targeting ICP, or perhaps the sellers are accepting deals from the outbound team that perhaps they shouldn't. Getting the right sellers selling the right product to the right customer is key. No two sellers are the same, and each individual will display different characteristics, have strengths and weaknesses, and expertise that suit a specific vertical or segment. Reporting on this helps leaders funnel the right opportunities to the right sellers. In this example, Seller 1 has a great win rate in business services, but the majority of the leads that they're working on are in manufacturing, while Seller 3 and 4 have a better win rate in that vertical. You can't optimize what you're not measuring. When leaders understand the bottlenecks in their sales process, they can begin to remove them. In this real-world example, we can see very low conversion rates from discovery and too much time being spent in stage 3. To fix these challenges, we could be doing a better job at targeting ICP, while engaging senior stakeholders earlier might reduce the elongated scoping stage. This has been a glimpse into the type of insights we deliver as part of RIAS. Thank you for all your time today, and anyone who's attended will be sent a link to the latest B2B benchmark report after the presentation. If you'd also like to connect with me, please do so on LinkedIn, and if you mention the summit, I'll be sure to accept the invite. If you'd also like to find out more about Revenue Insights as a service, please scan the QR code or just use the short bit.ly link and book in a time to meet with me and my team. Thank you all for your time.